Now Pedersen to blast all that hit. Provorov diving save. Hart as he flashes across. Briere sends up Carl. Side of the net. Deflected. Score! Briere moving in. Stops. Cuts to the middle. Still has it. Shot! Score! Here's Hughes giving it across. Oh! Save by Maher! He's an angle! Short-handed mid! He scores! Up top, cruising is Provorov. He scores! Ivan Provorov!
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Flyered Up Podcast. I am your host, Amedeo and Grassia, along with my partner, Chris Maher. As always, we are live streaming on TTP Sports, the Painted Lines, Flyers, Fan Mania 93, and a whole bunch of different Twitter pages and also Facebook as well. So somehow, if you do not find us, which I find you crazy if you don't, we're always going to be on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast at.
Get us at a different time if you miss it.
Yeah. Somehow you don't miss it. I have no idea how you wouldn't, but you never know. It's always going to be on those different
Sean Fitzpatrick
platforms.
better be in here.
Yeah, definitely Sean better be in here. Who knows? It might be his bedtime.
That's funny. How you doing, dude?
Good old Sean. Yeah, how you doing, Chris? We got some good Flyers games to talk about. Even I wouldn't say the Pittsburgh game was the best, but they stole a point out of that. We got a big win in Washington last night, picking up 3 out of a possible 4 points. So all's good, I would say. All's good before we have a couple of days off before the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like the Flyers have played well. I mean, the Pittsburgh game was. It had its moments for them. They didn't necessarily play great, but I didn't think they played bad either. I felt like there was a lot of times where it felt like it had that kind of momentum to it and that swag to it that like the Flyers would end up winning the game. I honestly thought Atkinson and that chance he had in overtime, I thought he scored. Where it kind of just sat loose and and then Letang, it's such a shitty goal by Letang, but. You know, I feel like I feel like every time the Flyers play Pittsburgh, and this isn't like I don't want to make this sound like it's an excuse or it's like a just me kind of rambling because I'm a fan, but it's like I feel like the Penguins always get that lucky bounce. Like they score 16 seconds in, they get like the Gensel goal. He whiffs on the first shot, picks it back up, and just throws it to the net. I don't know how it misses Hart's pad, Jeff Carter in front, and the post, and still hits the post, but doesn't just go straight and ends up hitting the corner and just goes right in.
And then you get the goal 15 seconds into the game.
Yeah, right. The goal 16 seconds in where it's just a shot deflected. Guy was in front and went to right. Above Hart's pad, below Hart's arm, like just right in that like 7-hole kind of area. It's like, dude, but it is what it is. And the good thing about it was that they followed it up with a win in Washington
with a much better performance too.
Yeah, I mean it was easily their best second period of the year.
I would say probably their best. I would say 60-minute performance. I would say they played a good 50 minutes of the game. I would say that third period left not the best third period to shut off a game, but still they won it.
Well, yeah, and it's also the fact that the Capitals had 13 shots for 2 periods. Like you kind of had to expect that they'd come out.
They were going to make a push eventually.
And then they ended up putting, I think, 16 or something in the third?
I think at least 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, they had a good chunk in that period. And right when the Flyers right when the Caps actually made it 2-1, I was talking about this with Bill Meltzer this morning, and Bill was saying, he was like, when Konechny had that 2-on-1 chance with Giroux, and Giroux made the perfect pass, sent it right over to him, and Konechny shot it, and Vanacek made a really nice save. That was like, Bill was like, yeah, that's when I knew we were going to have a dogfight to the end. I was like, I said the exact same thing. I'm like, because that was probably going to be one of the Flyers' only couple chances that period, because you got to think the Capitals just kind of bunker down defensively. They don't really give up much. And then the Flyers just come back. They start getting their mojo, and I thought they played really good defensively, regardless of what happened in the last couple of minutes. Like the Caps, they had their chances. Jones stood tall, and it wasn't even the fact that like Jones hasn't, in the 3 games we've seen Jones, Boston, Vancouver, Washington, the guy hasn't made any crazy save, hasn't been out of position, hasn't done anything like unbelievable that's like, holy shit, Martin Jones. Like, the guy has just stopped the puck. He's squared at just about every shot. If there's been goals given up, it's been like the Boston game. It was a turnover on the first goal. The second goal was a bad change and a turnover. And the third goal was a mismatch on the icing and also a mismatch in front of the net. The Vancouver game, it was a shot from the point that just hit it was just a seeing eye shot that ended up hitting the post and went off his skating in. And last night it was a weird kind of just deflection that went off of Patrick Brown, went up over him, and ended up going into the net. Jones has not given up a single bad goal. He's shut up just about every single hitter. He leads the league right now in save percentage. I think he's second in goals against average.
It's funny when you look at that, like, top 3 leaders in save percentage. You see a couple of guys, 3 guys that have been struggling the past couple of years. You see Martin Jones on top with 950. You see Sergei Bobrovsky. I think his save percentage is like a 943. And then you got James Reimer from the Sharks as the 3rd best save percentage in the National Hockey League. And also, I find it really ironic that Martin Jones leaves San Jose, and then San Jose becomes good, but Martin Jones is also doing good with Philadelphia. So I just find that completely weird. But for some reason, I do think San Jose is eventually going to fall off. I don't think their goaltending is going to. It's the same situation I think what Buffalo has. Like, they have Craig Anderson as their starter. He's an older, even though Craig Anderson is a good goaltender, I don't think his age is good for them to last a whole season.
Yeah, I mean, and also Buffalo isn't as good as a team too. Like, it's different. Like, if you look at a team with an older goalie like Edmonton, like, they have an older tandem in Smith and Koskinen. But the Oilers are, first of all, that McDavid goal.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Dude,
yes.
That guy, I have no words. That guy is literally the best player in the world. There's no getting around it. That guy is sick. Like, when you, dude, like, just the, like, and what I love about it too is his quote after. He's like, I'm paid to score big goals and paid to do things like that. And he even acknowledges the fact that it was somewhat stupid to go in 1-on-4, which realistically any other player in the league could do that and probably would get stopped. But McDavid would probably be one of the only few in the league that could do it. It would be like him, Crosby, Kucherov, McKinnon, maybe Braden Point, and that's about it. Like, there's very few guys that could do that and that are that high level of a talent.
I want to show the goal on the live stream, but I want to ask people that are watching this video right now, have you seen the McDavid goal? If you have or have not, I'm going to show it regardless, but I just want to know people in the comment section if they saw it or not.
Yeah,
because I want to show it regardless, but I want to make sure if there's like someone that actually missed it, I want to like see the beauty of the entire thing, because it's just like, how?
Yeah,
it's just like the only explanation is Connor McDavid.
Dude, I knew he did something crazy when I was refreshing Twitter, and everybody was like, McDavid, and then somebody put the clip, and I was like, dude, just watch for yourself.
Okay, we got Twitter saying he hasn't seen it yet, so I'm just gonna show this shit regardless, because this thing is an absolute thing of beauty. So here we go. We got from Sportsnet. Hopefully we don't get a copyright strike, but I don't care nonetheless, because this thing is just like, it's must-see television at this point. So here we go.
Oilers got the matchup they wanted. Rangers having trouble changing here. McDavid, beautiful move.
He's disgusting.
It's just, my goodness. Like, the man went through 4 guys. And the Rangers were even doing a line change at that point. He's literally dragging the puck through the neutral zone. He's just like, okay, I'm taking this myself.
And if you're a Rangers fan, like, can you even be mad at that?
Like, I personally wouldn't be mad at that. It's freaking Connor McDavid.
I would, because it tied the game.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, I'd be like just sitting there like, holy shit, did he just do that?
Like, yeah, we got to see these replays on here.
McDavid has so many highlight reel goals.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's insane, man.
Like, he rags the puck through the neutral zone. He waits for his guys to get out. He sees 4 guys. Okay, I'm taking them all, and they just whiff on every poke check and check they
And
can
he even knew,
possibly.
like that's got to be goal of the year, right?
That's definitely goal of the year. Like I don't see
Unless
anything topping
somebody
that.
does like the lacrosse move again,
Nah, I
or
even think
something like that,
this
like,
beats a
or if
lacrosse
somebody.
move, honestly, every day of the week.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't know, dude. It's so early in the year, but like, oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah.
Honestly, McDavid could break himself. Like, it's incredible. I mean, that guy
And
is
speaking of
a
breaking things,
monster.
with Ovechkin trying to break Gretzky's record, he's 1 goal away from tying Brett Hull for 4th all time on the goal scoring list, but he got held pointless yesterday
Yeah,
against the Flyers.
yeah, and that's one thing the Flyers did so well in the 2019-20 season. They held him.
I don't
I
think he
think
had
they
1
held him
point.
goalless. He
I
didn't
think they held
score a
him goal.
goal.
I don't think he had a point at all against the Flyers that year.
Yeah, I don't think he did,
Yeah, so
which is surprising. But then the year after, he torched them.
yes.
He absolutely
So
torched them.
so is it just gonna be the same pattern type of thing with them missing and making the playoffs every other year? They shut down Ovechkin, and then the other year he literally torches them for every single thing.
I don't know. I hope not. I really would hate that odd year if that does continue. But one thing I did like from last night's game was the fact that the second line started to get going again, and they won so much. Like they had to have won at least 85% of puck battles last night.
At
Caps
least.
definitely had more territorial advantage in the third period. Easier for me to say. But I felt like as the game was going on and the game progressed for the Flyers, they stuck with it. It was a very good first period. They had a lot of chances. Vanacek was strong, and one thing I've noticed about the third line, especially Lindblom, is Oscar's won a lot of puck battles that he would have lost last season and even the year before, and he's starting to get there. Like I don't necessarily feel like it's not a knock at anyone on that line. I think Lawton's been fantastic. JVR's had his looks, his chances. He's set up guys. He's obviously, JVR does his thing, and he's such a good passer too. I think that's one of the underrated parts of JVR's game. Um, but like Lindblom has had many chances to score. He hasn't gotten one yet, but he's gonna get one soon. I have a feeling he's gonna get one soon. I think when he does, he's gonna light up.
Hmm.
And if I'm being honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if they keep these lines. Like I know a lot of people saw Sealer today get sent down, and they're like, "Oh, Ellis is back." I don't think Ellis is going to be back.
No.
AV seems very doubtful that either him or Kevin Hayes, who's supposed to make his scheduled paper debut for Wednesday against Toronto, doesn't look like it. Now they're saying Tuesday against Calgary, next Tuesday on the 16th is maybe around
likely when he could return.
for Hayes. Yeah, Ellis, I'm not sure. That's for Hayes.
Yeah, the more with
Um,
this Ellis situation of just really not getting that much info on what's wrong, which I can understand why they don't want to share it, but it's like making me like I understand the precaution and everything. Like you want to do this now rather than midway towards the end of the season when you're getting closer towards a playoff push. So I can understand it's just making me worried that like he just like didn't look injured when he was playing in the first couple of games of the season. Then he randomly gets scratched, and then you turn into this whole situation. Oh, he makes the road trip. Oh, he could start here. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, then he can't make this practice. And then it's just like it feels like it's getting worse before it's getting better. But hopefully, this is the sign of him starting to get better because he did participate in some of the skills practice today.
yeah, Mike Yo had said that this was the best that he's probably looked and the best that he's seen him. So that's a good sign. Um, I don't know. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, it's not like the only issue that I have with it is just Sealer's still in the lineup. And it's not that Sealer's a bad player. It's just I would rather get back to having Ellis and not having this, to play Sealer because he's not your regular guy to play. He's your seventh defenseman. But Braun's been fantastic. Provorov had an unbelievable game last night.
Yep. Yeah, like
many plays where
the entire defensive core as a whole, like, I would say against Pittsburgh, they struggled more, but they really picked it up against Washington. Like, Ristolainen and Sanheim's game on Saturday was probably their best as a pair in
yeah.
the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to get into that too. Like what I was saying with Braun and Provy, like they had so many good clean breakouts. Provy had a lot of good like efficient plays where he was just like made it look so calm for him to just get out of the zone, made it look effortless. Same thing with Ristolainen. He was very physical. Sanheim had a lot of good plays where he was just throwing it up the wall, or they just kept it in transition. Whatever they could do, they were just really good defensively. And I think it all kind of coincided with Jones playing well, and they didn't give up. Again, the Flyers have defended in the middle of the ice so well in the first 10 games of the season. They're 6-2-2. There's been some iffy moments, but I feel like their game is getting there. And again, you don't have Ellis, you don't have Hayes. Like
You
they
don't have
are
Allison
getting.
either.
Yeah, you don't have Allison, who most likely would have already taken all by Goodball's place. And if he was healthy, it's honestly there's no question at this point. There's really no consideration there. But again, I've really liked what I've seen, and I think it made sense to start Jones last night too, because that's another thing. I know a lot of people were like, "Well, why is Jones starting? They're playing Washington." Jones hadn't played since Thursday,
Mhm.
the 28th of October. Last night was the 6th. Flyers don't play again until Wednesday, then they don't play again until Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Jones is getting either one of those games, Carolina or Dallas. My guess is he gets Dallas.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suspect because Carolina, they're the stronger team going into the season. They did recently get their first loss against the Florida Panthers, so there's that, but against the
With
stronger
without
team, you want your
Barkov,
better.
too.
Yeah, but against your stronger team, you want your best goaltender. That's probably
For
most
sure.
likely gonna be Hart.
And the Flyers a quick home game on Wednesday.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if obviously we know Hart's most likely going to start that game. Not even most likely, we know Hart's going to start that game. But again, I mean the Flyers have a very tough month of November, so you want to be able to keep everybody fresh, keep the lines fresh, everything. If you can switch out guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of Patrick Brown and a mix of NAK. Just to keep everything fresh. And,
Yep.
there's obviously going to be like the maintenance days, like today, Konechny and Farabee had maintenance days. Wouldn't be surprised if more guys, keep doing that. And one thing I've loved about this Flyers team too is like the bond they have as a team. Like a lot of them were at the Eagles game, like Lawton, Couturier. The guys that I saw were Lawton, Couturier,
Thompson and
McEwen,
Atkinson.
Thompson, Atkinson, Farabee. And I believe I saw Nick Seeler, unless it was somebody else, but I could have sworn it looked like Nick Seeler. Don't know if he was there, but I'm not sure. Anyway, a lot of them were at the game, regardless of who was there. I love that stuff.
And then you
Because
got the
it's like that.
whole Friday night action with the wear your best drip,
Yeah,
as what they were calling
the
it.
dinner. Yeah, who's got the best team drip?
When you
Yeah,
have
like they just
Atkinson and Claude Giroux looking like the fathers of the group, and they have no idea what the hell to wear.
yeah. The Couturier actually was like pretty on point with that, which was surprising.
Yeah, Soda wants to make mention of Coots' drip.
Can you get a picture of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
Because that was like awesome. And Coots, again, like the one thing I love, again, it's just the camaraderie they have with each other and like the bond as a team and everything. It's obviously translating over to the ice. So it was good to see, obviously, after dinner and everything, and then you go from that, yeah. I mean, Coots, like this is awesome. The entire thing.
Yeah, I want to find the
It's amazing.
Giroux if I can find that. Yeah, there we go. Yep. They just look like Giroux just looked like an ordinary father. Cam Atkinson, I have no idea what he's trying to dress like.
Yeah, Atkinson and G were just like, yeah, all right, let's go to dinner. They probably just didn't even. They probably don't have any clothes like that.
Probably. You got to handle Giroux. Well, I can't say that for Giroux being 30 plus because Thompson is older than Giroux when he has the clothes like that.
Yeah. She's also a dad too, so I guess it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. So that was an interesting event that happened over the weekend. So now you're looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs coming into this Wednesday night matchup at 7:30. And Toronto, they've gotten pretty hot recently. They got off to a little bit of a struggle to start the season, but now they're
Won 5 in a row, right?
Yeah, I think they've won 5 in a row, I believe. Yeah, they beat Tampa Bay in overtime. They beat Boston at home. They shut out Vegas 4-0. They beat Detroit 5-4. They beat they're on a 5-game win streak after starting with that win against Chicago in overtime. They do have a game tomorrow against the Kings, so let's see if they get another win to extend that win streak to 6, or they go into Philadelphia with their first loss in a little bit. So
yeah, Leafs are playing well. Flyers are. Oh, I just kicked my computer. Flyers are playing well. Leafs are playing some good hockey, so Wednesday should be a good one. That's
that'll be my first game this season in the press box, so that'll be hopefully a fun game.
Oh, nice, you're doing that game?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's Flyers cool. Nitty gritty. Always shout out to Jamie there, getting us some games in the press box.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm curious. I gotta ask you this: like, Flyers only had 1 power play last night. Do you like these units or no? Like,
I'm not the biggest fan of Provorov it's not a knock on Provorov. I just don't think his strong suit is manning the point on the power play. I liked him when he was set up on the left side on the second unit when they had him and Ellis on the power play on the second unit.
I feel like these would be a lot better though if Ellis was here. Like if Ellis was playing and it wasn't Risto, and it's nothing against Ristolainen, you just rather have Ellis. It's just like I feel like if they switch just a couple things, like if you want to put Atkinson there, that's fine, but keep him in the spot to use a shot. If you want to use Provorov more, I think that's okay. But I feel like sometimes Provorov can shoot the puck when he doesn't really have a look.
He tries to force something that's not there.
Yeah, like anything like that. Drew on the right side, I don't hate, but Drew's also been firing pucks this year, and he's had a couple goals from that side, especially from the right side, and the slap shot he's used a lot to his advantage.
Yeah, he's tied for the team lead in points with 12 along with Couturier.
Yeah. So it's not really, mind-boggling as to why they put G on the right. And Atkinson, obviously, the quick shot and everything. Brassard on the second unit, I think, is fine. I don't mind Brassard. Again, it would be different with Hayes. Again, a lot of these things are, if it's Brassard and Ristolainen and Ellis, Hayes, it's it's a little different. But the one thing I just don't like is the fact that they took Yandel off the first unit. And again, it's not against Provi. It's just Yandel was doing well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
I know during the Canadian road trip, they said they went over 10 on the power play. So I can understand why you want to try a different approach. But it still looked like they didn't go over 10 on the road trip. I don't know why someone brought that up, because they scored a power play goal against Vancouver. I don't know why they said they went over 10.
They did not go over 10.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, I'm not sure if it was a stat from Tarian or something like that. For some reason, someone brought up they went over 10 on the power play on the road trip. They did not. I'm just like, why?
JVR scored a power play goal.
Yeah.
And didn't they score a power play goal in Edmonton?
I don't think they did. I think everything was 5-on-5, I believe.
No, the Oilers scored a power play goal. That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Flyers goals were 5-on-5. The 4 were 5-on-5, and then the empty netter.
Yeah. And then he didn't score a goal at all in Calgary, so that negates that. So, yeah. I just wish they kept that because I just like the way they were passing the puck on. It felt like it was more crisp on the original setup.
Yeah. But again, it's still early in the season, and I'm willing to see how things play out in different units, because again, it's you're still early into the year. It's a long year, and you still have a lot of time to kind of change some things around here as well.
Yep. And looking at some of the our goaltending stats right now. So you got both goaltenders doing extremely well. Carter Hart's 3-2-2 in his games played. He is a 2.41 goals against with a 926 save percentage and 1 shutout. Martin Jones is 3-0 with a 1.67 goals against and a 950 save percentage. So goaltending has been a major bright spot to start this season. But I think I don't think we did a podcast when this trade went down, but the big trade, the good old Jack Eichel trade, getting traded to the Vegas Golden Knights for a third round. Well, Jack Eichel and a third round pick from Buffalo, and then going to Buffalo with Alex Tuch, Peyton Krebs, a first round pick in 2022 and a 2023 second round pick. But that first round pick is top 10 protected. So I think if somehow Vegas doesn't make the playoffs, they land a top 10 pick. All the picks that are involved in the trade get pushed back a year. So That's a very good trade for Vegas. So I think they had 27 mil on LTIR. 27.
Wait a second. Wait, say that again. If all of the picks if Vegas misses the playoffs, all of the picks go.
I think every pick moves back 1 year. I think that's the conditional.
So how is the first round pick a top 10 protected?
So if Vegas lands in the top 10, the pick goes back to Vegas, and then Buffalo gets a 2023 first round pick. The pick goes back to Vegas, then Buffalo gets their 2023 pick.
Even if they make the playoffs?
No, this is if somehow Vegas misses the playoffs.
This season?
Yes, this season.
So if Vegas misses this year,
and they land a top 10 pick,
but that pick is already top 10 protected for the season, for this upcoming draft in July.
Yes.
So if they miss,
yes,
they don't get that pick.
It is so like if they miss the playoffs, but it doesn't fall in the top 10, it's Buffalo's pick.
Well, it's top 10 protected.
Well, if it doesn't land in the top 10 and they don't make the playoffs. So like say if they land between like 11 and 15, 16 or something like that.
Can that still happen if it's top 10 protected?
Yeah.
Or no?
The Flyers have done it many times.
Yeah.
Flyers, you get the 13th pick, you get the 14th pick. If Vegas lands in the top, if that specific pick from Vegas to Buffalo lands in the top 10 of the NHL draft.
You're saying.
Yeah.
I wasn't factoring in my head the lottery.
Yes.
So, okay. I get what you mean now. My bad. Okay. The Eichel trade, though.
Spend 5 minutes discussing how draft picks work.
You know what I'm gonna do?
It's 10:57 tonight. I'll give you a break.
Yeah. The Eichel trade. Look, I think it makes sense for Vegas, of course, too, because they get all the stars, right? Like they get Pietrangelo, they got Stone, they got Pacioretty, they have their
true superstar now.
Yeah, they have Eichel. They're true number one center.
Yep.
Did you see his interview with Ben Chicklets exclusive?
Mm-hmm. I did.
It was a great interview.
It's funny too. He said if Buffalo just allowed him to get the surgery, he would have played for Buffalo regardless if they went into a rebuild.
Yeah. So literally, all this was
the surgery.
Buffalo didn't want him playing anymore or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know too much about it, but it was not good to hold a player at a certain degree. We're like, oh, we're not going to let you do this for your health. Like that's just after a while the league, like, and me and Yuri Wallach talked about this on Don't Panic, and he had mentioned it. He was like, the league probably stepped in, and I was like, yeah, you're probably right, because they don't want that going over for too long, especially when you already got this whole thing with the Blackhawks. You got something developing with Pittsburgh. You have an entire NHL season as well, and anything else that happens with that. I don't really think they want to be, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So they probably were just like, okay, get this over with, make the trade, and they did. And Eichel's now a Golden Knight, and
Alex Tuch goes back home to the Buffalo area,
mm-hmm.
and they got a good, hopefully, forward prospect in Peyton Krebs. He really wasn't able to shine in Vegas, so hopefully he gets a better position to play with Buffalo and all that young talent that they have.
For sure. And, I feel like, Buffalo's obviously still developing as a team, and there's a lot of things that can come along with them. But again, I don't necessarily mind this as or look at this as like a terrible trade for them. Like they get a lot out of it. Tuch's a great player. Like Vegas has such a good top six. It's like They could just play with two lines. They don't even need a third and fourth line, and they'd be fine.
Yeah, then I think they said Eichel's going to get the surgery very soon, and I think he's expected to miss, 5 to 6 weeks, and he could be back after the Olympic break. I think somewhere around there is where he's expected to.
Yeah, I saw March was what I had seen, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I wonder if he'll go down to
playoff push.
It's funny. I wonder if they'll send him to Henderson for a conditioning stint.
You never know.
Could you imagine that?
He'll just dominate the league down there.
Yeah, they literally put him down for a period. not even a full game, a period.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, speaking of Henderson, I'm not sure when I went to Vegas this summer if this was their arena, but we decided to go to like outside of the strip and everything, like outside of the main like tourist attraction shit in Vegas. So we went to one of these like weird, I guess, cafes or restaurants or whatever you want to call it for breakfast. And when we leave the place and drive out, we see this. I'm not sure how the building was designed. It just looked like a random backlot building or something like that, and it had a bunch of like beer advertisements and then other advertisements on it as well. And it said official practice facility of the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm like, what? This does not look like an ice rink.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I'm not even sure if this is where Henderson plays or they play I think they play in a different section of the Vegas area.
Yeah, I think they play in Henderson.
Yeah. So it's Henderson is like, I think it's like a suburb of Vegas.
I think it's about an hour out of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing it at the Flyers Training Center with a bunch of the other media members. Their practice facility is gorgeous. Like
the outside of it does not look like an ice rink at all. It just looked like a backlot building.
Yeah, I heard the inside is beautiful. Like, really everything that Vegas does is first class.
Yeah, definitely.
From the game, like literally just the game presentation alone is insane. And then you have obviously the team plays well and everything else.
Yeah, man, I really wish they were home when I went to Vegas during the summer. I really wish they were home during that playoff because I think it was like game 3 or 4 they were doing when I was there, and I was just like, God fucking damn it. I would have loved to see a game in Vegas.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoffs. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like able to just go and just that was the thing. Like my mom, they just recently my parents, they just recently went to Nashville, and their hotel was like that. My dad said it was like 5 minutes from Bridgestone Arena, and I was like, and then my mom, she said she saw a thing. There's a road trip from friends of Philly going to Nashville in March, and I was like, dude, I'd love to go to that. But yeah, I've only done a handful of road games. The one I'd love to do is Columbus.
Really?
It seems like a great arena to go to.
Yeah, the only other NHL arenas that I've been to are not Console and now PBG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. I went to the Heinz Field when they went to the Stadium Series.
I went about that game.
Yeah, I went to Barclays Center when the Islanders still played in that arena, which it was the worst thing in my life. Like the arena itself is beautiful. It's not a hockey arena.
No,
that's the bad. Like the angles in that arena are like, what the fuck is this?
The scoreboard is like the blue line.
Yeah, the scoreboard. It was not centered
the
at all.
Far right blue line. If you're looking at center, it's at the right side.
Yeah, then you get the good old SUV behind one of the goaltenders. So yeah, you get that nice view there. And the other, I'm trying to remember the other Staples Center, Los Angeles. I think that was the other only arena that I have ever been to in my hockey career. I think we're going to Prudential in December when they play the Devils.
Nice. Yeah, I've been to Prudential. I went in the 17-18 season. And they actually won that game. They won 5-3 with an empty netter.
There you go.
I think. Yeah, an empty netter. I think Raffle scored an empty netter, surprisingly. But yeah, that was a good game. And I went to Pittsburgh
in the 2019-20 season.
And yeah, when you did when we did a pod when you were live from Pittsburgh after they lost in overtime.
Yeah, when I got chirped by that fan, and almost got into a fight. Where else did I go? Prudential. I went to the old Nassau Coliseum, the original, in 2014-15 season. It was actually Couturier's -5 game. And the next night, that was when Voracek beat the living shit out of Craig Adams in that fight. Was it Adams or might have been Martin? I forget. I don't know who it was, but whoever it was in the Penguins.
I can't
back when they used to have that disgusting, like, poopy yellow color.
Oh.
It was when he just beat the shit out of somebody and they ended up winning that game in overtime. It was back when Grice was on the Penguins.
Ah.
But yeah, dude, like, I would love to go to an away game, and COVID and everything. My dad had been talking about going to Boston, and we might actually go to the draft in Montreal this summer.
Interesting.
We've been looking at it and planning it, and it's funny because we were looking at it, and a couple years ago we went to Boston. I had a hockey tournament up there, and it's the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night, Red Sox at home playing the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all things, the weekend that I have the tournament is when the Phillies go up to Boston. So we ended up staying. We saw the game. Ended up losing in the 13th inning. The Herrera blew the game for them. No shock. But anyway, nevertheless, I say, okay, all right, well, since we've done this before, maybe had a little bit of luck, let's look and see. So the draft this summer is the 7th and 8th in July in Montreal. And then we were going to go to Toronto and do the Hockey Hall of Fame and, I think just to see the city and a couple other different things that my dad had kind of looked up and been researching and stuff to do down there. So I look at the Blue Jays schedule because I love that the MLB puts out the schedule like before the season even ends. The New Year schedule is already made.
Yeah.
I guess it takes them that long to make it. They do it so early. Well, I look.
And the Phillies are playing.
Play the Blue Jays July 12th. And 13th. If they had literally played them 2 days before, on like the 10th or something, we could have been like, we could have stayed, but like then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, you have the draft the 7th and 8th, the Hockey Hall of Fame the 9th. What are we going to do
for the other couple of days?
Yeah, we just have 2 more days, just random days, and then the game. It's like we'd rather just do the draft. So
yeah,
that was kind of a kick in the ass when we were looking at it. But as of right now, it looks pretty good for doing that. I think that would be really cool to go to a draft, on the road. And I've only been to one draft when I was here in Philly, so we'll see.
Yeah, but, I haven't been to. I think it was between 2nd and 3rd grade when we went on vacation to this was like a vacation for technically me and my dad, but we all went. So I don't even know how old I was at the time, between 2nd and 3rd grade, probably like at least 8 or 9 or 7 or 8, whatever, at least 8 years old. So we started off, we basically drove the entire way, went to Cooperstown first, stayed there for a day or two, went to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Then we went over to Niagara Falls, did something there, stayed there, I think, for 2 or 3 days. Then we drove to Toronto, stayed there for 2 or 3 days. We went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. We did a bunch of touring shit around Toronto. Nice place. Very nice place. Didn't see any sporting event that I recall. I don't think we ever did. But saw the Hockey Hall of Fame. Both Hall of Fames were pretty good. And I would definitely love to go back to Toronto, though. And other cities that I want to see, too, in Canada, like Ottawa, like especially during the winter time when that gigantic river is frozen and they do the ice skating on the river. That's something I would definitely want to see. Montreal just in general, just because it's Montreal. And yeah, basically, I would definitely want to go see the Hockey Hall of Fame again just to see all the updated stuff.
For sure. And this is the thing, I mean, just to be at the Bell Center, one of the best NHL arenas in the league, one of the craziest hockey arenas in the world. Like, I would love to go there, so that would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, traveling for hockey is definitely something I'd love to do. But hopefully in the coming years, maybe get a Fired Up podcast road trip going and do some vlogging and stuff hopefully. Like that. But
that'll be an interesting. That definitely would be an interesting trip that needs to be documented. Oh
For
God.
sure. We would need
Yeah, we got
many cameras to document that.
you know,
The ones that are like glow in the dark.
exactly.
Yeah.
We got Soto says he's going to be going to the Shark Tank on New Year's Eve. That's a nice place to be. Hopefully, I've never been to the Shark Tank before. I've only been to Staples Center. So, and I was like during that trip too. I was like, hey, Dad, they play in San Jose. The next day, can we go there? He's like, nah, we're not driving there. That's too far of a drive.
How far is it? Like 3 hours?
I forget how far San Francisco's that whole like part. It's got to be at least a 5-hour drive because how big California is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very long drive from there because driving from LA to Vegas is 5 hours at least, depending on the traffic.
Yeah, right. And LA traffic has got to be like
Yeah, LA traffic is a pain.
Yeah,
It's such a pain.
sure.
Okay, yeah. Soda says it's 6 to 8 hours.
Holy hell.
We got a PF.H says he's going to the Flyers Avalanche on December 6th. That's nice. Nice to see there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's I guess I know we've been talking about different like road trips and stuff, but I think we are getting close to the end. We could definitely bring this up as another topic because road trips are always like an interesting thing. So I guess people that are viewing this right now, think of, I guess, your most wanted sports vacation, road trip, whatever, and bring those thoughts in for the next podcast. Same thing with you, Chris. Definitely think about that. I'll think about that. And we'll talk about that the next time we join here on the Flyer Up podcast. It's getting late here, so we're going to wrap it up for this stream. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And if you tuned in late, just didn't tune at all, it's going to be up on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts at. Don't forget to check out the Painted Lines wherever they are, YouTube, social media, anywhere. Check them out. Also, don't forget to check out our separate YouTube channels for me, TTP Sports, for Chris, Flyers Fan, Mania 93. If you're not subscribed already, definitely go check out our different Twitter pages as well. All those links are down in the description below, along with the Florida Pod merch website. Do not forget to check those out. So thank you, everyone, for joining this edition of the Flyer Up podcast. I'm your host, Amedeo Grassia. He is Chris Maher, and we will see you next time.